Okay, here's the thing. At face value, this seems like a reasonable take. If I am a healthcare provider and I personally don't agree with abortion or providing contraception, and I have colleagues in my practice who don't mind providing that care, I just send them over there and we're all good. At face value, that might sound like a reasonable approach. In terms of my opinion and my perspective, I don't think it's appropriate at all, because even though that person might still be able to get what they need, the fact that they have to go to someone else when they initially came to you is a problem. The argument I'm hearing in this comment is it's all right if I, as a provider, don't want to offer this care as long as they can get it from someone else. I disagree. I think that the patient experience matters in this situation. And I think what you're doing when you're shuffling a patient off to someone else, whether it's in your clinic, in your pharmacy, or somewhere down the street, or somewhere hundreds and hundreds of miles away, you are now creating a situation where that patient has to experience barriers to care that they should not have to experience. That patient may feel confused, they may feel humiliated, they may feel embarrassed, not because of the care they're seeking, but because of how it's being handled. The hoops they're having to jump through to get what should be freely available to them. All that does is reinforce stigma and shame, which a patient should not have to experience when they're coming to a professional for care. So, from my vantage point, it does not matter if there's someone else in this clinic who is willing to provide that care, because the patient shouldn't have to go through that in the first place. And I think we have this view that stigma and shame are abstract and intangible things that like happen in healthcare but don't really matter. And when we're talking about sexual and reproductive healthcare, that could not be farther from the truth. Fear, shame, and stigma keep people from wanting to come to professionals to get help. Fear, shame, and stigma normalize the types of policies we're seeing today, where access to care is being limited and downright cut off. Fear, shame, and stigma perpetuate the false belief that certain types of care are more appropriate or ethical or moral than others. Not the case. Fear, shame, and stigma make it normal to ostracize providers who freely and happily offer that type of care. I could go on and on and on about the real, tangible, legitimate consequences that fear, shame, and stigma have. And I think that as healthcare providers, we have to be more cognizant of how we contribute to that and how we perpetuate that, even in what seems like small or insignificant decision making on our parts.